Hi everybody, it's Learn English Bersama Madam Azimah, and today we are going to learn the be verb in the spoken form and forming the continuous tense. All right, there's a lot to cover here today, so I hope you are taking notes or you are listening carefully and follow along because there are exercises for you to do. So let's do this, everyone. Okay. Now there are 5 forms of the be verb: am, are, is, was, and were. So let's do that again. Am, are, is, was, and were. These 5 forms are part of the be verb, right? The be verb. Now, in spoken form, you can actually contract these verbs with the pronoun. So, for example, I am, you can shorten it to I'm. I'm from Terengganu instead of I am from Terengganu. What about we are? We are. You can contract this like so. We're. So we're happy to be here. We're happy to be here. What about they are? They are. It's there. Now listen to the pronunciation. It's there. I've heard people say they are or there, there. So it's actually there. It's the same pronunciation as in the word THERE and THEIR. So it is a bit complicated, maybe challenging for you. So you can practice that. So it's there. They're excited. They're excited. What about you are? You can contract it like this. You're. So you're very confident. You're very confident. You're. Okay. What about this? He is. He is. You can contract it like this. He's. So the S there sounds just like the Z sound. Z. So he's very professional. He's very professional. She is the same thing. She's. The S sound there sounds just like the Z sound. So she's a librarian. So you can practice making the S sound, the Z sound instead of the S sound. Z. Okay. What about it is? So it is contracted. And this is how you spell it. IT''S. It's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday today. And the spelling is similar to ITS, except that you have to have the apostrophe before the S. It sounds the same, right? It's and its sound the same, but they do not mean the same. ITS is similar to the meaning his and her. The cat licked its tail. But IT''S is a contraction of it is. And so it's not the same meaning as his and her. So you have to be careful when you write ITS. Do you mean it or it is? Okay. What about was and were? So was and were are the past tense forms of the be verb. Was is used with I, he, she, and it. Were is used with you, they, and we. Now, there are no contracted forms for was and were, except when these are used with not, N-O-T, to form a negative sentence. So if you want to form a negative sentence, you add not. So was not. And now you can contract it to wasn't. Were not is contracted to weren't. Okay, weren't. So the spelling would be, for wasn't, WASN''T, and weren't, it's WEREN''T. Okay? Now let's take a look at how we can make negative sentences using not. So we've learned just now, were not is contracted to weren't. So for example, there weren't enough votes. There weren't enough votes. Was not or wasn't, you can say something like this. Oh, he wasn't listening. She wasn't listening. Wasn't. Okay. As for am not, now I've mentioned earlier that we can contract I with am, so it becomes I'm, but you have to say not in the full form. So I'm not interested. What about are not? Now there are two ways you can do this. It's either you contract it to aren't, basically, A-R-E-N-T, aren't. So for example, we aren't supposed to be here. We aren't supposed to be here. It's a bit of a challenge to say aren't, right? So if it's hard and it's tricky for you, you can say are not instead. Okay, are not. Just say in the full form, are not. What about this one? You're not. You can say that as well. You're not instead of you aren't. You're not. So you're not supposed to be here. You're not. So you're contracting the are with a you. You're not. Now, as for is not, there are two ways as well to contract this. So you can say she's not, he's not, it's not, or she isn't instead of she's not. He isn't instead of he's not. And it isn't instead of it's not. Okay. I hope that's okay. You're not confused. In case you saw what I did there, you're not confused. Okay. Now let's take a look at how to form the be verb in the continuous tense, using the be verb in the continuous tense. So when you use the be verb, you have to use the ing verb after. So for example, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. So having is the ing verb, all right? You cannot say I'm have a good time. I'm having a good time. Let's take a look at another example. Are with the ing verb. So I want to contract they are. So I'd say they are listening right now, or they're listening right now. They're listening right now. Let's take a look at the third example. Is plus the ing verb. So she's playing a video game. She's playing a video game. So I've contracted the is there with the pronoun she, and I've used the ing verb playing. He's playing a video game. She's playing a video game. Number 4 was with an ing verb. She was talking to the boss. She was talking to the boss. So I wouldn't contract was there. I would just use the was in the full form. She was talking to the boss. He was talking to the boss. I was talking to the boss. And lastly, were with the ing verb. You were going to say something? You were going to say something. Were going. So as you can see, the be verbs there are used with the ing verb. Okay? Now, the mistake that second language learners tend to make is missing the be verb before the ing verb. So what you can do is try to correct the errors using the present tense. So I've written the errors here. I'm going to read out loud, and you can try to spot the errors and try to correct the mistake there. Okay? I going to exercise every day. What's wrong? I going to exercise every day. Number 2, this virus impacting millions of people. What's missing? What about number 3? He helping me with a proposal. He helping me with a proposal. Number 4, we going to order lunch. we going to order lunch? Number 5, oh, I only joking. I only joking. Right, so what's missing? What about number 6? My colleague always asking me to repeat myself. Okay. Number 7, I feeling good about myself. I feeling good about myself. Number 8, I preparing the points right now. I preparing the points right now. Number 9, she telling the truth. She telling the truth. And number 10, they talking about the football game. They talking about the football game. So obviously, the mistake here is that we are missing the be verb before the ing verb. And I've underlined all the ing verbs there. So let's take a look at the answers. You have to add the be verb before the ing verb. So it should be, I am going to exercise every day. Or, I'm going to exercise every day if you want to contract I with am. Number 2, this virus is impacting millions of people. This virus is impacting millions of people. Number 3, he is helping me with the proposal. So you have to add is there. Number 4, we are going to order lunch. We are going to order lunch. Number 5, I am only joking. I am only joking. I am, right? Number 6, my colleague is always asking me to repeat myself. So don't say my colleague always is asking. You should put my colleague and then you have the be verb after that. Number 7, I am feeling good about myself, or I'm feeling good about myself. Number 8, I am preparing the points right now. I am preparing the points right now. Number 9, she is telling the truth. She is telling the truth. And number 10, they are talking about the football game. They are talking about the football game. Okay, I hope that's clear. You have to add the be verb before the ing verb. Okay, the ing verb shouldn't stand alone. Okay, so in summary, we have learned the spoken form of the be verb. So you have to contract the be verbs, making a negative sentence using not, and using the be verb in the continuous tense. Okay, so I hope that has been helpful for you. Tune in next week. Learn English Bersama Madam Azimah every Wednesday, 12:15 p.m. on Manis FM and Manis FM Facebook page. See you guys soon. Bye.